Hello, my name is Ronnie Phillips. I am the undergrad TA for GIS 3500, and you're probably going to be hearing my voice quite a bit over the next few weeks as we walk through tutorials for these upcoming labs. The first bit we're going to do here is going to be the tester software installation. And it looks pretty straightforward, but there are a few little things that I want to be able to work out with you here so we can make this as smooth as possible. And so it looks pretty straightforward. It says, here, data, download the lab file from this link. Okay, so we'll just click that and download it. It's coming up right here, so I'm using Chrome. And so we'll just click that, go to the show in folder, and we've got our zip folder right here. Before I go on, I want to explain what a zip file actually is. If you think of a bag and it's got a zipper on it, right? If you were to take a folder, a folder and a bunch of files and things like that and shove them in this bag, and then you'd zip it up, you'd have one bag that contained all of your files and folders. That's kind of what a zip file is. It's a type of file that contains a bunch of different files and folders, and it compresses them all into one bag, one folder, right? So before we go to work with it though, we need to unzip it. We need to get the stuff out of that bag. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to decide first where I want to put my folder, or this zip file really. And you can put it pretty much where you want. Here's what I advise. We're going to right click on this, we're going to hit cut. Okay? And I'm going to go into the documents folder. You've got ArcGIS already installed. So I'm going to go into ArcGIS, this folder right here. We'll go into that folder and I'm just going to create a new folder. I right click, hit new, and then folder. And we're going to call this GIS 3500. And that's where we're going to put all of our lab work for this class, okay? So I'm going to, we're going to make another folder here, and we're going to call this week 0. And that's where we're going to store this zip file. I right click in here and I hit paste, and here's our zip file. Now this is no big deal. All we're going to have to do is we're going to right click on it, and we're going to hit extract all. Okay, and what will come up, came up on my other screen there, is just it's telling you where you want to put these files. This is going to be kind of a default place. You can just keep this all the same. I'll show you what happens. You can uncheck this and we'll hit extract. We'll let it extract all those files. It pulls them all out of the bag and it places them all in one separate folder, right? And so if we look in this folder, we'll find another folder. And finally, we'll find our data, right? This is it's an ArcGIS ArcMap document right here. And then we've got week 00 data. We'll double click that. We'll see a GDB file. And we'll see, this is called a shape file, right? These 5 files right here are all what's called a shape file, right? Don't really worry about what that means right now. Some of the extra tutorials can explain that. And a GDB is just a kind of a type of file, or really a data set, that holds a bunch of other files. Don't worry too much about it right now. We can work through that later. But anyway, so we've got all our stuff extracted. And so what we're going to do from here is we're going to get ArcGIS open. So we're going to go down here, go to ArcGIS folder. Here's ArcMap. This is what we're going to open right here. So we'll let that open. It's probably going to take a little bit on my computer. If your computer is pretty slow, it can take even longer. Hey, it's opening on my other screen over here. So we can look at the next objective here. It says test your ArcGIS software installation by reconnecting the MXD in the week 0 folder. Make sure you fix it. Right. Okay. So what this is essentially saying is we're going to open this file right here, and we're going to do what's called reconnecting. It's a little bit complicated to explain, and I'm not really going to go into it. I think as we work through it, you'll be able to figure out what all this stuff means. Still waiting on Arcgis ArcMap to open on my end. And it's still loading. Let's see if there's anything else on here. Yeah, we'll just wait for it to open. Okay, ArcMap is open on my end. And so, what does it say here in the instruction? It says that we're going to open the Reconnect.mxd file. Okay, and we can find that. Remember where you stored your data. We'll hit this open folder right here. We'll go into Documents. We'll go into Arcgis, and we had stored it under GIS 3500. So we'll click through, and we see it says Reconnect. This is an MXD document, so we're going to hit Open. And it did open, but it looks like nothing really changed except this right over here. And what we have to do is we have to reconnect the data to this. And I'm going to get down to the nuts and bolts here real quick. If we go into properties here, we can try to see where the source came from. Yeah, sometimes it'll tell you where it's supposed to, where it comes, where it's supposed to be displaying this states and provinces stuff from, right? The reason it has this little red exclamation mark right here is that it doesn't know where to find those files to display right here, right? And that's what we're going to tell it to do. This sounds a little bit complicated maybe. It will work itself out, trust me. We're going to click on that red exclamation mark, and it's asking you to set the data source. What that means is it's asking you where is the information for states and provinces that you want to show. And this is showing some of the older stuff that I've done. What we want to do here is we want to click on this Connect to Folder, okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to connect to a folder that shows where this data is. And we're going to kind of knock out a couple of different things here in one fell swoop. We're going to hit Libraries. We're going to navigate to where that data is located. We said it was in Documents. It's the wrong Documents. There we go. Arcgis. And we're going to hit 3500, and we're going to stop right there. If we look here, we can see the, week 0, and this is where all our data is stored, right? But we're going to keep this here because in the future, you're going to be storing all of your data in this GIS 3500 folder. And so if you just click on this once, every time you come into ArcMap, you don't have to do this exact same thing to reconnect to your folder. If you store everything in this GIS 3500 folder, okay? This will save you a lot of time down the road. So we're going to hit OK, and it automatically, reconnected. We can drop this down right here. We see that this is actually my wife's computer, but we can see that this is where my, all my lab work is going to be, right? So we're going to hit that, and then we're going to go find that data. So we're going to, remember we looked at it earlier, so we're going to click through all this stuff, and we see week 00 data. We also see something that says states and provinces. Hey, kind of a coincidence here, right? So we'll go into that, and we see this feature class here that says states and provinces. States and provinces feature classes. So we're going to hit add. Hey, we've got it. Pretty much what your screenshot is supposed to look like. And so from here, all you really have to do, we can, if you want to, you can right-click on that, hit zoom to layer, and it'll zoom that in a little bit closer. But all you have to do from here is just take a screenshot. If you're a Mac user, I don't know how to do this. But if you are a Windows user and you don't know how to take a screenshot, you just click that magnifying glass down here. That's how I do it anyway. We type in snipping, the snipping tool pops up. We'll click on that. Just hit new. It's got those crosshairs that show up. Just take a screenshot just like that. No problem. File, save as. And we'll navigate to our GIS folder, week 0, and we will call this, I don't know, week 0's screenshot. There we go. Hit save, and there you go. You're done testing your software installation. We know that it works and that it can connect. We'll go ahead and close that. You don't have to save any of this. You can just close ArcMap as it is and let that be that. We'll hit no, and then we're done. Let's bring this back over here for a second. I can't really place enough importance on storing your information in this GIS 3500 folder. I keep on, for the next lab, I will keep everything, you know, maybe not in this GIS 3500 folder. It's probably what you should do. You know, you'll make a new folder, call it Lab 1, and then you'll store all your data in there, right? And so it's really important to keep your files organized like this so you can find them easily and you're not having to reconnect to a folder every single time you open ArcGIS. It's really important that you keep this in mind. So that is the end of this little tutorial. As always, let us know if you have any questions.